whichever way it went, it was going to be a lifetime memory for me.
You can't control what anybody else does, so just worry about what you're doing. Do the best you can.
This is what I really wanted. Follow your heart and just be fearless and brave, and amazing things will happen.
Playing in my home state, I have probably hundreds of people rooting for me. All that emotion just kind of came out.
I think at least I'm proving to myself that I can still do it.
It feels amazing. One of the best tournaments in the sport to win, and having a major title is incredible.
Stockton, California, and Swenson Park for round 1 of the President's Cup, our first PDGA major of the year. Who gets to add major winner to their resume? You'll find out live on the Disc Golf Network. We're in beautiful Swenson Park again. All the beautiful wildlife out there, including some cute baby foxes. See some goslings later today as well. Let's take a look at our current conditions. Another beautiful day in Stockton. Temperature will rise, humidity should drop. Some great disc golf weather. Wind is down. Scores should follow. Let's get right into the action. Holland Hanley. Putt on 1 for birdie. Like the President's Cup yesterday, starts her day with a nice putt off hole 2. This is her second shot on the par 4. And she is parked. You see the red flags, he was just stoked for that shot. You can see why she drops it to birdie. My friend Violet Main drop it in as well. Let's go over to T of 3 now. Holland once more. Trouble early there, so need a big second get into birdie range on hole 2. Let's take a look at our end of a hot rounds. Chantel Badinsky, Holland Hanley, they wasting no time. Missy Gannon, always a threat at a major. There's money involved, Val. She's gonna want to take that down. And welcome in the booth. I'm your host, Ian Anderson. There's 4-time world champion Valerie Jenkins over there. Talk about Holland. You know, Kristen at times has kind of seemed to be her kryptonite. Do you think she's over that? Is it still in her head? What do you think?
I'm not even sure Holland's thinking that.
Yeah.
Holland, I describe her as a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
She's always working to perfect her game, working on different elements to make her game better. And she has really grown so much since she started. She's learned every year and continues to get better, but she needs to add a major title to her resume. And where her game has been, I think she's peaking right at the perfect moment to play really well this week.
I'm with you. There has yet to miss a podium this year, playing fantastically. The stats kind of back up what you're saying. She's gotten better on tour every single year. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, she is very steady. And it's all comes down to if she can keep her mind in it and keep herself calm. It's such an individual sport where you're the only one that can talk yourself into something or out of something.
Yeah.
So if she's feeling confident this week, I have no doubt she's going to finish well.
Incredibly high ceiling in this moment, which is putting it together, as you see right there. Averaging over 1,000 at Pro Tour events this season. That's incredible, Val.
That is.
The level is up on the FPO side. It's been great to watch. Donning the hat in Austin.
And I really do feel like she's a well-rounded player. I don't think necessarily she favors the wooded courses over the open courses, but she has skill sets to really attack whatever course is handed to her, whatever weekend.
Yeah. Great putter, fantastic backhand, world-class forehand, and she is way out in tour points right now, up 160 points, Val.
Yeah, she's looking to defend. I mean, she did incredible last season that allowed her to have that #1 spot as we headed into the Tour Championship at the end of the year.
Let's check out her second on hole 3. This is old hole 2 from last year. There's OB left, Schul on the right.
And it's just a wall of trees you want to avoid over there on the right.
I'm going to throw it down to my man, Nate Perk. He's got more on that Holland Hanley Kristen situation. Talk about that, Perk.
Yeah, it's a question that I've asked Holland several times over the years. I mean, Ian, if we go back 2 years ago, there was no doubt that when Kristen was in the field on Sunday chasing down a Holland who was leading, Holland just couldn't figure out how to perform at her best. 6 times she headed into Sunday leading. 5 of those Kristen ended up winning. And Holland would be the first to admit that she just couldn't shake it if Kristen was on the card with her. Now, you ask her that same question today, and she brushes it off with ease because she knows now it's about her and the course. And I've been getting a lot of flack for saying this on the Joe Mez podcast, but I really do feel like Holland has the higher ceiling. I think that the only comparison now is the mental game. And right now, Kristen still has no equal. So if we go check the stat Mando and we look at the head-to-head at the moment, Holland has only beaten Kristen 5 times. We're talking 37 wins for Kristen and 5 wins for Holland. So that's not a lot when you look at a 4-year stretch. So Holland has to bring the A game this week if she's going to take Kristen down 4-round tournament in the major. Let's get back to the action.
Thank you, Perk. She's off to a good start. Maybe some slight struggles on 3, but 2 through 3 is still really nice. And on the other side of this break, 3-time champion Paige Pierce tees off. We'll see you there.
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
In a game of precision, when a miscalculation can mean the difference between winning or losing, you require instant, pinpoint accuracy. When you need confidence in your shot, turn to MVP's Parsec Laser Rangefinder.
Through 54 holes.
It is going to be an exciting championship Sunday.
Evelina with what might have been the single best drive in the division.
Evelina has been so good at throwing those direct lines.
2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell winner, Evelina Salanen.
And this will be an approach shot he'll remember for a long, long time.
Course record, title. This may be the best day of Ezra Robinson's life.
The legacy of the Robinson brothers grows today.
Supreme Flight Open champion and first time Elite Series winner, Ezra Robinson.
PDGA's Champions Cup is presented by MVP, the leading hedge in disc sports, and OTB Discs, only the best.
This is for her birdie as well,
Yep,
right?
Right.
Okay.
And the outright win.
All right.
Oh, so now
This
just
is for par.
for par and to tie. I mean, Paige is right there.
Oh no!
Still strong.
God,
playing.
so
I know it's not how you
brutal.
want it to end. Paige Pierce, your champion.
And I'm walking up the last few holes and thinking, if I lose, I still am out here doing what I love.
Kristen Tatar, your 2023 Champions Cup winner. Outright brilliance from Kristen.
I mean, it slipped out of my hands last year, so it feels good to play one of the greatest tournaments I've ever played in my life here. I just want to tell everybody to follow their dreams. Amazing stuff will happen because it happened to me with disc golf.
And your Champions Cup champion, Evelina Salonen. Big smiles from Evelina here. Her first major victory.
I was so nervous whole round. Last 4 holes I was shaking. I think at least I'm proving to myself that I can still do it.
And welcome back to beautiful Swenson Park. All kinds of fun water carries, strokes flying all over the place out here. You'll love to see it. And we are flying back to the T of 1 for your second feature card.
Well, they look relaxed, don't they?
Your defending champion right there looking super relaxed.
On the tee box
Ella Hansen.
from Rosebud, Arkansas, Kat Merge. Throwing second from Pensacola, Florida, Paige Pierce.
OTB! Yeah.
Next up from Los Angeles, California, Owen Scoggins.
I love that.
You might have seen this in the par 3 position yesterday. They're playing the par 4 today. A little stretched out.
From Rauma, Finland, Hannah Slomroos.
Yeah, Hannah.
Good luck,
That
ladies.
should be
Have
enough for
fun.
Hannah to kick
Thank
it
you
out
for
left
coming.
nicely. And our man Nate Perkins on the ground with the one and only Scott Withers. All yours, Perkins.
All right, Scott, you've got a brand new role with the PDGA. Kind of enlighten us on what that role is.
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I was lucky enough to be able to join the team as a TD program director. So revamping what it looks like to be a tournament director for the PDGA and really trying to be able to invest in the people who are out on the front lines of the game, doing the work both at like a local level and then for bigger events too, but trying to give back to the people that are really out grinding.
Well, can you kind of talk about, what the intention is and how you're going to be able to help the TDs prepare a better event?
Yeah, step one's through training. It's through getting tools in the hands of the tournament directors that they haven't had in the past and making it easily accessible. The PDGA just rolled out a TD training module, which is 18 holes basically of different topics that you go through. How to do disc golf scene, how to use tournament manager, how to get a parks permit set up. It's free to all PDGA members, and it can be found at pdga.com/TD/training. Takes you right to it and just kind of walks you through how to be a tournament director. So I think step 1 is investing in training, and then step 2, coming down the line, is talking to our TDs and figuring out, like, what do you need to be successful? Why do you do this? You know, because they're spending countless hours.
Sweet. Well, thanks for that, Scott. And guys, we can't overlook that Scott Withers has been one of the most dominant Oregon disc golfers all time, including a win just last week at the Blitz by, I think, 8 strokes. So, Scott, congratulations on the new role. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
I was going to mention the same thing. I think Nate Perkins took 5th. So,
Oh, yeah? Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
They might have played on the same card at some point this weekend.
Scott Withers, one of those names where it shows up at your local A tier and you're fighting for second.
Uh-oh, yep.
Hanley, T of 4. Got a little lettuce. She'll have a C2 putt from there. We'll show you that once she gets down the fairway. Blomroos.
The wind is going to be a huge factor today. You can just see Henna as she's setting herself up. Her hair is blowing. We see the branches blowing. And that can make some of these angles really challenging.
Throwing her second on the par 4, swinging it wide.
Up and over the OB. It's got to come back quickly. And it does. She's going to have an uphill putt.
Yeah, nice shot from there. Hanley for a share of the lead with Gannon. On 16% in Circle 2 on the year. And that number will drop just a little bit. Gannon, your solo leader. Well, tied for one at the Champions Cup. Hasn't missed a putt. That's always nice.
That's a good sign for Missy. I feel like she's so consistent off the tee. She's very accurate in the fairway. And then she is such a threat if her putt is on.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it all crumbles if her putt is not looking good. But if her putt's looking good this week, she's going to be in contention.
This woman always a threat as well. Kat Murch, her second on 1. Nice little forehand in the green. That'll putt for birdie.
And we are playing on a golf course this weekend, but the way that this course was designed, kind of in these treed areas, and there's a lot of hills, and there's just a lot of really unique factors to this course. And it doesn't seem like your typical wide open golf course.
No, it doesn't. Leonard does a great job using all the trees out there. Really feels like a disc golf course out there. There's Evelina and James Proctor, her caddy, also MPO pro. Having a good time before they kick off here. Paige Pierce, her second on 1. James is back from injury, but only throwing backhands, is what I heard. Oh. Madison Tomeno for back-to-back birdies. And the birdie putt for Murch on 1.
Whoa. All right, well, it doesn't go too far past. That basket is perched up on that hill so that you have potential if you go over the pin or if you hit metal and don't connect. You can roll all the way down and possibly find OB if you roll far enough.
Blomroos also looking at 3. Thankfully, that doesn't go anywhere. Drop in par coming for Henna. Pierce finds the band on that birdie bid. Again, thankfully doesn't move too far. Drop in par. Murch, a little work left on this par putt. closes out the hole nicely. Is your Champion Cup defender. That title defense will kick off on the other side of this break. We'll see you there.
My name's Paul Uliberry, and I use the Uli Signature All-Terrain cart. I use the all-terrain because when I'm on tour, I typically use a lot more discs than a lot of people, and this is the slimmest cart you're gonna get with the most disc capacity. It's easy to navigate around the course, and the height of the seat, perfect for a rest spot. Also easy to transport in your vehicle from spot to spot. If you're like me and you carry a lot of discs, this is the cart for you.
It's Simon's throw, 2 behind our leader.
Driving relative. That's a sick roll. Birdie. 1 down, 1 to go. And it just started raining.
Test of strategy, timing, and karma. Do you have what it takes? Order your game today.
So no way! Are you talking about superhero stuff? There's a flying Kev man.
Discraft built for flight. Built for flight.
Some of my favorite discs in my bag are the A-Series discs. They're the ones I lean on to get close to the basket, and each of them have a consistent grip. So as you cycle through the series, you won't have to change the way that you hold the disc. Torque-resistant discs that are more stable than the PA series provide a consistent fade at the end of the flight. The best way to find your flight is to get out and use these discs yourself.
You are a PDGA member, you can watch the rest of the Champions Cup for free as part of your PDGA membership. Gotta love that little extra benefit to your PDGA membership.
And to watch the first major of the year live on the Disc Golf Network.
You can't miss this one. Let's check in on Hanley again. T of 5. It's that big par 5. It's a late dog leg right.
And again, we're on a golf course, but there are a lot of technical tee shots that force you to hit these lines through the trees.
And Hanley did that nicely, way out there in the fairway. Blomroos. Tee of 2. This is your old hole 18 from last year.
Yeah, and it's at least 300 feet to get to an ideal spot on that corner.
This is a nice little rollout.
Yeah, it did go forward. I'm hoping it doesn't pinch her off too much on that right side, but she got some good distance.
Kristen Latt taking about 4 minutes.
Let's call the final foursome.
Trying to move into solo third on that all-time major winners.
Silva and Ella.
Paige Pierce, number 1. I'm sitting next to number 2. How about the average finish there, Val?
I love that the Disc Golf Network pulls these stats up and reminds me of, yeah, I had a pretty good career.
You had an awesome
And
career.
I love that it still stands. I mean,
It does.
I feel like I just had a dream recently that I came back and I won another major so I could tie up Paige, but sorry, folks, not happening anytime soon.
A month or 2 of training, you could do it. You could do it. 100%.
I wish. Thanks for your encouragement.
I 100% believe that. It's like riding a bike, Val. You're not
If
old.
only.
You're not even old.
If only.
Oh, we're flashing back. This is the last world, or major, it was in California. Bittersweet memories here, Val.
Yeah, I called Santa Cruz in the Bay Area home for several years. So this was the World Championships that was happening, and felt like I really was dialed in at that point. And it would have been great to take home the World Championships with Nate, but Paige squeaked out the win in the final 9.
Could have won one with your brother and then one with your husband. Oh, cool.
2 with my husband. It would have been 2.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But look at this West Coast disrespect here, Val. We're just breaking the tie with Japan. Last I checked, Japan's a little farther than the West Coast from the rest of America.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
The West Coast, you know, the invention of disc golf happened here.
Yeah.
There's so many players. I mean, California, you don't have to leave the state, and you can play tournaments all throughout the season with intense competition. So nice to see another major join the West Coast. Some incredible courses out here and so much rich history.
Yeah, shouts to the PDGA and the big OTB team for making this possible. Pierce, second on 2. Did make the corner off the tee. And throws a really nice second. Blomroos on the same. And a nice one from Henna as well. Checking in on Hanley again. Second shot on the par 5. I think I heard roller. See if she goes to it.
It is risky throwing a roller out here.
Yeah.
There are millions of ground squirrels that create these ruts and holes on the course. Let's see how it turns out.
Hanley is going for it. I like the angle out of her hand. We'll show you that fitness once she gets up there. Looks like she likes it though. And we are flying back over to the tee of 1. About a minute until they tee off. Kind of fun. We have 2 defending champions in a way, Val.
Right, we have Ella Hansen, OTB Open champion, out here on this course last year, and then, yeah, Evelina defending her major title of the Champions Cup that happened out in Peoria last year. A very different course than what they played in Peoria, but Evelina's skill set really suits well for a course like this.
Yeah, it does. The best thrower of the disc in the world. Top 10 disc golf culture rules. Only 3 players, Latt, Gannon, and Salonen, have major wins. Huh. Interesting. The others listed are still looking for their first major. Holland did win that throw pink, which felt major-ish, but wasn't technically a major.
Yeah, the asterisk next to that one.
Anybody keep AA batteries in their bag? James? Usually I'm prepared. You just have AAA? Yep. Yeah, sorry.
D batteries.
Yeah, I got a D Volt, man. All right. Can we make an announcement on DGN asking for somebody to bring Battery.
Tom might be the guy.
South Sudan.
So I heard there's around 50 unique holes out on this course. There are multiple tees that they'll be playing, multiple pin placements. There's a lot of practice.
It was quite a bit.
And it's about 4 miles to walk around the course. So it's a lot of throws and a lot of walking to get their practice in for this week.
Evelina, that is low out of the hand. That'll be a pretty big second.
New Estonia, Kristen Lett.
Kristen's first official tournament tee shot in the state of California. Worked out pretty good.
Not bad at all.
Finland, Silva Saarinen.
Silva last year at the Champions Cup gave it such a good run. She's so accurate in the woods, and she's just so consistent on the fairways. See how she holds up on this big course.
And completing this group from Seattle, Washington, Ella Hansen.
That was a big deal for Ella to take this tournament down last year. That was a huge moment in her career after some pretty heartaches.
Yeah.
To finish some of these tournaments that she was in contention to win. Hopefully that motivates her this week.
Thank you.
I think I saw tournament director Sean Jack back there. Quick shout to my man John Toby for the announcing, doing a great job out there. Paige Pierce, birdie putt. You saw the approach a few moments ago. Okay. And our first live fox sighting.
Their spot.
They know how far back to be though, because they're like, oh.
Right.
I was shocked how quickly I saw a fox when I stepped out on
Really?
this course. I didn't realize that they were so outgoing. They're all over this course, and Henna just short.
The Achilles heel on her game strikes again. Drops in the par. Third shot for Hanley on the par 5 fifth.
Small little window that she was forced to hit. That worked out really nicely. You could see just barely the bottom of the cage.
Mm-hmm. Hanley looking good early. Flying above hole one in our Flight Factory drone. And now on the ground with Evelina for her second. Evelina would be playing this one for par now after the ceiling one there.
Good start, good start.
Throwing a 50-meter 50.
And reminder, we got coupon code MAJOR25 for free shipping over at flightfactorydisc.com. Tons of great gear. Also, they sell a ton of your favorite pros gear as well if you want to support them. Make sure you check that out. Saarinen and her second on one.
Likely a par from there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too aggressive from that distance. This is my first time seeing Silva with a caddy.
Oh, yeah. She has a bag, doesn't or carries her own.
She usually does, yeah.
Hansen at her second on one.
Just died as soon as it caught that tall grass and tree.
Perkins, what is Kristen looking at for her second here on hole one?
Yeah, she's pretty clear to the pin. She just ranged it. I'm going to give her 220. Just looking at a little flex forehand. She's got one baby redwood to beat on the right. And then just looking to hit the front of that hillside. Yeah, got it a little nose up. That's coming in a little hot. Needs to sit, and it is going to catch a little flare down the hill. Edge of circle one, going to have the right to left wind coming back up to the chains.
Thank you, Perkins. So we'll see how the putt is looking early for Kristen. Hole 3, Paige Pierce coming off the birdie on 2. So it's a low ceiling on this one, and Paige found that with the high release. Hanley for a share of the lead. Nice forehand approach, went just a little long. Hanley wasting no time. There's a log jam at the top right now. Wow.
And while this is a distance thrower's paradise, there are a lot of big shots. It does require those technical and more placement shots to get yourself down the fairway. Madison Walker doesn't have the biggest distance, but she can be very accurate with that sidearm.
That was Evelina's third on 1. That's meat on that par putt. See if your defending champion can salvage a par from one fin to another. Blumroos on 3. That's the elevation you're looking for, Val.
And knowing the angle that you're hitting the ground on to get the skip you need. Oh my!
Sarnin with a lengthy bid from circle 2 that chains out.
And that view makes that putt look shorter than it actually was.
Yeah.
Wow. Very aggressive.
Had to be at least 45-50 right there, huh?
At least.
Hansen also in circle 2 looking at birdie on this mounded green. We'll see how aggressive she gets. Close by. Hopefully the pace wasn't too bad. Evelina at circle's edge for par. It was a nice bid. You know? Online.
Online. Needed a little more power.
Just a little more power on that uphill bid. That's easy to come up short on those. Over to the other side of the green we go. It's a birdie look for Lat.
See the flanners blowing. Traditionally a headwind on the tee of 1, so Kristen will have that crosswind to deal with on this putt.
A little tickle off the rim. Perkins, did that one happen to settle for Kristen, or did it grab some legs?
Yeah, I'd settled just a few feet outside the bullseye.
Ah, good news there. Thank you, Perkins. It's a par cleanup for Hansen. Kristen in for her par. It is tight at the top of the Champions Cup, 6-way tie. We'll be right back.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Hallo, we're Kenna. We're a Dutch growing company. We love plants and we want to tell you some cool things about them. Just like humans, plants can communicate. They can sense when another plant is close. Plants look out for each other too. They warn neighbors about nearby threats by secreting substances. And studies have shown that plants love a good tune. We love and understand plants. Let our passion excite you too.
Experience is the greatest teacher, and I'm so blessed after 40 years and 150 so courses, every project I'm still learning. I think when you get down to it, a lot of it is about vision. There's the vision for individual holes, there's the vision for the property and what it can become as a course and what it can become as a venue. And then there's the vision for what disc golf can become.
After finding the OB with her second, it's a long look at par for Pierce. That was a great effort. But she'll pick up a bogey and slide back to even on the day, most likely. Kristen, tee of 2. And Hold My Bag just launched. It's the biggest fantasy disc golf game on the market. It's free to join, and you'll be competing for huge prizes at each event. Sign up before the next event at holdmybagdg.com. That's holdmybagdg.com. Saarinen. Lovely drive from Silva.
Huge.
Yeah.
Wow, to get past the trees, all the way down the tunnel. She had no problem. She got a lot of different options to choose from.
Hansen. Sends it out wide. That might be an interesting second with the corner in play there. Evelina?
Ah.
There is OB left. That should have settled.
Which basket we have?
Left 8.
They're giving her on the fairway after one, so she is safe. That's a long second, though. Blomroos for birdie on hole 3. Second for Evelina, and yeah, I was worried about that. Short of the corner, nothing doing but a pitch around, which he does so nicely. On hole 6, Hanley missed the Mando, throwing 3, just trying to scramble up a bogey.
Yeah, and this is not a drop zone that you expect to make. They really push this one farther from the pin. So.
How about that approach from Kat Murch? Beautifully played on hole 3. That was a par putt for Scoggins, if you were curious. I was. Look at that. 1 stroke separating your entire top 10. Tons of great names in that list. Hansen, her second on hole 3. A little kick to the right really didn't do her favor as well.
Yeah, it changes the angle, but Ella does have that nice sidearm, and there are a lot of left-right shots out here on this course, and so we'll see her utilize that right now.
That was a gem. That Hansen forehand is something special. She showed you that right there.
And Ella, our defending champion here at the OTB Open, she was dominating in last year's event. She ended up winning by 7 strokes, but they have tightened things up, lengthened some holes, changed things up to make it more difficult.
The comeback bogey look for Hanley on 6. Nice putt. Kristen, her second on hole 3.
Pinpoint. A beautiful approach.
Drop in birdie. Let's roll back a Zuka replay of this Kristen approach.
She's got the tailwind working behind her, which makes the disc more stable, but she puts that great angle on the disc, and the way that it spikes down, a little sharper edge hitting the ground allows it to slow down rather than skip too far.
Nice little koozie hit too. Saarinen, a monster drive. Now throwing her second. Beautifully done. Your feature card is 1 over on 1. They're looking a lot better here on hole 2. Evelina, and her third after the pitch out. And again, a little work left on her par putt. Trying to avoid the bogey start as you're defending Champions Cup winner. Blomroos, tee of 4. Right at it, but just a little too low from Henna. Pierce. Pierce rumbles a little closer, just out pacer 2 and circle 2. Kind of perk, looking ahead to the weekend, what do you feel about this A pin, B pin here on hole 3? Big difference, or what are your thoughts?
I think the difference is subtle, but I think that's part of the quality of the design here. Is the subtle difference can mean a massive change in the angle, and it just kind of keeps players on their toes, and it forces the player to be a little bit more intuitive than if it's the same pin for 4 rounds.
Yeah, I feel you there, Nate. Thank you. Evelina to save par. Yes, great putt.
And we got the pleasure to see the course with the course designer, Leonard Muse, and I thought it was really interesting. He doesn't travel a ton to play tournaments, so he wanted to know what normal big majors do and what do they do with their format, and how to tweak things to make it major status. And he thought all of these different holes would be the challenge.
Mission accomplished for Leonard. Mission not accomplished there on that birdie putt for Hansen. So that one finds the floor. Par start for Hansen. Saarinen hoping to start par birdie. One of the world's best putters does the job there on 2. That has nothing but a drop in, which she does so beautifully. There's a par for Ella. And they're off to hole 3. We're going to jump ahead to Pierce. Birdie putt on 4.
But she always hits that imaginary second putt.
Every time. After grabbing a bogey on 6, here's the bounce back for Hanley on 7.
That little wind drop keeps her right on line.
And you'll recognize 7. It's that big par 5 that cuts across a bunch of golf fairways.
Whoa.
Mound. Wow.
Owen played in the President's Cup yesterday along with Holland Handley. Didn't have the best day, but hopefully this tournament she can clean things up.
Look at that. Emily Weatherman, 2024 Rookie of the Year, leading the Champions Cup currently. Scoggins, though, 2 through 4. We are going to fly hole 3. Walk us through this one, Val.
We got that OB line on the left side for this entire hole. It's a par 4, 573 feet. And again, I just love the design of this course, really utilizing all these unique trees, creating these low ceilings, and sometimes carving out different flight paths or strategically leaving a branch in the way, knowing that it would catch the player. So you have to get through that low ceiling to start. It opens up. You want to avoid the trees on that left-hand side, and then here's that low ceiling again. As you approach the pin, hopefully you can hit some of this hard pan flying nice and flat to get you a closer putt.
Taking a look at hole 3. Perkins, talk about the redesign here on hole 3. I think we lost a Mando early.
Yeah, we did lose that Mando early, and I think fans are still going to be able to recognize that green and kind of that low ceiling approach. And one of the big storylines for me, not just on this hole, but the grass, and the last time they mowed now was last week, and so slowly but surely it started to change, and whether or not you're gonna get that skip, and it's kind of hard to expect it, and I think that might play out throughout the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Nate. This course was strategically mowed. Some of the rough is longer, so you're not going to skip back in from out of bounds, so you really need to do your homework out here and know what the disc is going to do on the ground.
Yeah, and again, going off of all of these different holes and pin placements that we'll see through the week, I think it's just so interesting. It was a lot of homework for the players to do, but think of how some tournaments set up where you're playing the same course every round, for a 4-round tournament. They're going to really dial it in, and they're going to get more birdies the better and the more times that they get to play that course. A format like this where we're playing in the same format for 2 rounds and then switching it up in the last 2 rounds, it really keeps players on their toes. They can't just get comfortable with throwing that same shot or that same tee shot over and over.
That goes to the turnover forehand. Might have liked a little more turn on that one, but still solid progress. Sarnen next. Taking the Silva line. And she throws it beautifully, Val.
Yeah, if you don't have the correct turn or you didn't choose the right disc, that left-hand route can be trouble. You can quickly find OB.
Hansen, par start, still looking for her first birdie. Should set up nicely for her forehand on the second. Evelina had a great par save putt on 2. And just smushes that down the fairway. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like that positioning, skipping more into the center, more to that left-hand side.
Checking back with Holland Hanley again. We're on the par 5 7th, her second. This is, you think we'll see some eagle runs on this one? It's only 760 as a par 5. You know, it feels like 2 great shots. Hanley goes for the big turnover. Trying to get all the way to this mounded green. Oh. That's there, Val. What a shot.
All right, answering your question pretty early.
She sure did, didn't she? Let's do a little form breakdown here, Val. What are you seeing on this big turnover?
Hey, that's a huge run up. You see how far back she started from her disc. And she is putting everything behind it. She sets her plant foot. She's got that full extension, reach back. I mean, that's the power pose. That is just so iconic. And she brings her disc nice and flat across her chest. It's all about timing. If you want to learn how to throw farther, you really need to get your timing down and get everything in rhythm to get that full power shot.
Thanks to that form review from Disc Golf Deals. You can discover the difference at Disc Golf Deals USA with pictures, skilled weights of every disc, same-day shipping, rewards on every purchase, expert reviews and comparisons. Your game, our passion. That's Disc Golf Deals for you. Kristen, second throw on 3. Does shape up nicely for her forehand.
That's exactly what you want.
Wow. Coming off the par on 1, that's back-to-back drop-in birdies for Kristen. Second for Hansen, just about the same spot. See if she can bite off that line.
Let's see how low Ella released her disc. I think that's the more consistent shot. That's a shot that you can rely on. Throwing anything too high, you bring in those low hanging branches and, you know, maybe a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. I was mildly worried about that lat approach, but found a nice window at the ceiling. Silva lining up her second after a great drive.
Is riding that right side. Gets kicked down short.
Okay. Out in circle 2. Silva really solid out there. 33% on the year from circle 2. That's really good. Evelina and her second after the monster drive. What, just 6 inches too high there? Gets knocked down. Should be playing this one for par. Caden Spurge for birdie on 12. She's been a revelation lately. One of the best young players on tour with a monster arm. Kat Murch on the par 5 5th. Flexing this up the middle to great effect. The eagle bid for Hanley on the par 5 7th.
I don't doubt her for being timid on that putt.
Yeah. It's a long birdie bid for Evelina. And gave it a chance, but it should turn into a par. Over to Sarnen in deep circle 2. She's dangerous out here. Birdie bid.
Yeah, she is. Wow. What a save from Silva.
That was a monster make. One more look at this for the catch.
I mean, just like her drives, as soon as she releases, it's just on this frozen rope. It's incredible. Her putting form is just so accurate from that distance.
The confidence to go for that, too, with the ceiling, you know, the hard pan, that could go well long if the miss. Incredible stuff. Hansen to match that birdie. Ella still looking for that putting stroke. Hasn't quite been there yet.
I'm just thinking about Silva's putt again. You know, if you're a putter that's as good as a player like Silva, you don't think about the misses. You know, if you hit the chains, the basket's going to catch you, and that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah, right? What a luxury. Evelina, no, the air ball on the way back for par. That will hopefully turn into a bogey. There's still meat on this bogey putt.
Yeah, that was a big miss.
Yeah. Oof. And is that a drop in yet, or does it still work, Val?
These are just a lot of unforced errors for Evelina.
Yeah.
And you could just see the extra moment she's taking of just frustration after the comeback miss. Those two missed, and the missed tee shot, the missed drive on one.
Let's hope she can clean up double. No, it's a triple. Oof. Oh, no.
It's going to hurt in more than one way.
Yeah, dang. Hansen for par. And Ella can still not find that putting stroke. And it's a 3-putt for bogey coming up.
Who greased up this basket?
Ugh.
I mean, Silva found her way.
Yeah. She big putted them in a major way, huh?
Wow. And it's always tough to see somebody hit a huge putt and then you know your putt's much shorter, but then it's always even more difficult to make a putt after you see somebody missing putts that you would expect them to have.
And that's no time wasted for world #1. Back-to-back birdies after the par start.
It's all mental when it comes to putting.
It is.
You can, as you step behind your marker, there's a lot of thoughts that can run through your mind. And if you think too much, it's never a good thing.
That is a drop-in birdie for Hanley. Back to the fairway on hole 5 for Murch's second. Trying to cut the corner, but unfortunately found one of those guardian trees. Your tournament leader, Emily Weatherman, and last year's Rookie of the Year. It's her second shot on hole 9. It left a little early. That should work for par, though. Outside chance at birdie. She's a great putter from distance. We saw that last year.
So we did just get a glimpse of some yellow flags. There are some hazard areas, and then the white flags, white markers. That's what marks the actual OB on this course.
On the same Gannon with her second.
Whoa, what a line.
We'll hope that stayed safe for Missy. Got some applause. Got Hall and Haley, tee of 8. I'll show you that putt once she gets there. Now the third for Murch on 5. Laying down the roller. I love the idea. That peters out about 100 feet short, something like that. Should be an easy up and down par from there.
Again, I'm thinking, wow, there are so many ground squirrel holes and homes out there on the course. It's tough to trust what a roller is going to do once you release it.
Yeah, with you there. Looks like we're going to fly hole 4, Val.
Yeah, this is a fun hole, and one of those holes where it has been sculpted by course designer Leonard Muse. He really took the right side of that tree, sculpted the branches to make sure you get this beautiful visual of the pin. It's right there. You know, this seems like one of the most approachable shots on the front 9, just under 300 feet, perfectly framed up, but you do have to have that technical straight shot. Choose the right disc with the right speed, hit the line.
And thanks to Zenny for the fly-through. You can head over to grab a pair of glasses. Use coupon code DGPT for 10% off your order. Kristen choosing the forehand line, but finding the corner, it appears. This is a Sarnen-shaped backhand drive if I've ever seen one, Val.
Absolutely. And you called it. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The only thing better is if it's in the basket.
That was like the opposite of the commentator curse right there.
Wow.
I don't know what it was.
You know her game.
That was fun. Hansen will opt for the forehand play. That gets Hansen to circle 1, I think. Let's see if she can find that putt. Has escaped her so far. Evelina, the bounce back, bounces right into a tree. Oof. Hanley, long birdie putt on 8. She pushed that one long left, it looks like, but Hanley's up for par smartly. Cat Merch and her 4th on 5. There's the up, and that's a pretty short down for par. Evelina, her 2nd. Putting this close would do wonders, Val.
Yeah, it would help out her mental game on the putting green.
Yeah, that's a nice makeable putt. Speaking of putts, Weatherman, a birdie look, and she is dangerous from range. Unfortunately, can't find it there, but an honest effort. Kristen nearly throws in her 2nd. Scoggins in circle 2. 3rd on tour from circle 2. Ooh.
Wow. She got some incredible height underneath that. I'm looking at that large branch just in front of her lie.
Gannon, a birdie putt to move within 1 of Weatherman. Missy's not missing that. She is so solid on the green. Can Hansen find that putting stroke back on 4's green? Still looking for it today. The search will continue.
Same miss over there on that left side.
You're right, huh?
That's telling me that she's just not fully committing to the line. She's got the power behind it, but she doesn't have that full extension to get that extra little pop to fly straight.
Can Evelina find her putt? This to save par. Yes! Great redemption putt after the events of hole 3. It's a par look for Lat. You never really worry about her putts, do you? You know.
She's a really solid putter. Yeah, absolute threat. And that's what allows her to win all these tournaments and these big major titles.
And how about this drive from Silva Saarinen? Don't hit your head. Drops in the 2. 3 through 4 for Silva Saarinen within 1-2 of the lead. They're off to the next. While they do, let our sponsors talk a little bit. We'll be right back.
OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
In the last 2 years, the Power Disc Golf Academy has helped over 12,000 disc golfers improve their game. Our program has proven time and time again to increase our members' performance and ratings. With over 250 video tutorials taught by the world's best players, it's easy to see why our academy is so trusted. To celebrate, we are running an anniversary sale of 60% off the first year of your subscription. Visit powerdga.com and use promo code 2YEAR to join today.
If you design, if you test, if you manufacture, there is only one technology partner you need. TriMet Group is the leading provider of design, engineering, and manufacturing solutions for thousands of companies across North America and Europe. Innovation starts here. TriMetGroup.com.
Emily Weatherman cleaning up par on hole 9 to maintain that one-stroke lead. Oof. Just a touch right, and that one jumps out. Weatherman will drop back to the field. And that big log jam at 4. As seen there, 4-way tie at the top. Gannon, Weatherman, Wynn, and Burge. A lot of golf left. Day 1 of the Champions Cup.
It is fun to see some newer names.
Yeah.
Up at the top.
This is Cadence Burge's second shot on 13. Just a moment ago. Attacking this island green. Oh my. No way, Val.
You gotta love the sponsors and supporters. Thanks for the help.
I think that was an OTB sign there even, wasn't it? Love that. Saarinen on 5. Does she love this, Val? Looks good. She's out.
Yeah, you want to get to that sun.
Kristen next on the tee. I love the options Leonard has given the players here off the tee on 5.
Yeah, you can go this left route, less trees over here, or you can go between the trees if you're more comfortable with the hyzer angle.
Shortens the hole a little bit, right? If you go right. Just a skosh. Hansen. Ella out cleanly.
Yeah, and I would prefer being more on the left side of this fairway. It does start to bend around to the right, but really anywhere past these trees is great for your drive.
Evelina smashing out a hyzer. Should get some ground play. Perfectly done on that line.
These open areas give us a glimpse of that golf course, and seeing those skips, you can tell it's a different type of grass that you're landing on when you get that big flare skip.
Weatherman, T of 10. OB carry here, and then a water carry for your second. And she's carried the OB nicely off the tee. Owen Scoggins. Double Mando, T of 6. Does not bend it enough.
Whoa, still safe.
Sounds like she's safe, though. Sten, everyone's favorite Norwegian, has a birdie look on hole 8. Best lefty on tour, or am I forgetting someone?
I have a horrible memory, so I'm sure we're forgetting somebody.
Shush. Gannon on 10. Perk, not a bad crowd for a Thursday morning. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's really not. They're showing up, and I think that there's a lot of repeat patrons because of the experiences that they've had in past OTB Opens. They kind of know what they're in for, and it's just a walk in the park this morning. The wind is down, and it's going to peak at like 87 degrees, so going to get pretty hot later, but right now it's nice, low 70s, very comfortable out here.
Thank you, Perkins. Yeah, it is great disc golf watching weather right now. Hansen caught a tree in the corner. That's going to make for a pretty long third. Sarnen, her second. Cutting the corner, and looks like she found a tree. About the same result we saw from Cap Merch a while back. Blomroos on 6.
This tee shot is so daunting, but wow, Henna just cured that drive.
I saw Drew Gibson practicing that hole. He's laying up with a putter, short of the Mando, playing it for par.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you're not confident to hit that, it's a really challenging tee shot.
Kristen's second is smashed. She is on track for a birdie with a good third there. Evelina. A massive shot from Salonen. Oh my goodness.
Wow, the way that disc held that angle was such a high release. That was fantastic.
What a crush. Weatherman not OB, but just throwing from next to the drop zone. She's probably safe about 12 feet. You see the line there. So water in play on this second. Goes to the flex. It faded a little late. Oh. And as a result, finds the OB. So Owen was short of the OB. Goes to the forehand roller. And a chance at par, but a likely bogey coming up for Scoggins. Back to 10 for Gannon's second after a good drive. looked like a green flag there. Saarinen, her third on 5. Scoggins to save par. Has played well at this event, despite not being one of the longer throwers on tour. This putter can cover up a lot, though. Not this time, though. Hansen, her third on 5. That is wide from Hansen and will pay the price. Playing for par from there, but it should happen. Blumroos finds the cage again, unfortunately. That was a nice drive on 6, but does not capitalize. Canada geese pair and some goslings. We saw this during the President's Cup yesterday.
They're just moving to a better spot to spectate, I think.
Very courteous geese. That has not been my experience in the past, though.
Canadians, I mean, they're very yeah, they're polite. They're very polite.
Yes.
I'm thinking what a big shot that was from Emily. So knowing if anybody goes OB and has to take it from the drop zone, it's a huge shot to try and get that water carry.
Yeah. So throwing forward, looking for the up and down bogey from here. The turnover is not turned over enough. It is safe, but that's a circle 2 putt for bogey to avoid the double.
And that was close to that OB line on the left-hand side.
It was. Back to Kristen on 5, her third, to set up the birdie putt. She is dealing. She just throws perfect shot after perfect shot. You know, just consistency is her superpower. Evelina, her third after the monster turnover. That's a look at birdie.
From what we saw from Owen, you want to get past that tree.
Yes.
That can make putts really challenging as you're trying to throw uphill underneath those large branches.
Hansen's fourth to set up a par. That was nicely done.
Yeah, good play for the skip at the top of the hill.
Yeah, there were some ceiling issues. You really had to put some oomph on that one. Saarinen, her fourth. She'll have that left for par. Gannon, birdie putt for the solo lead. That approach ended up just past the pin on the right side. Found the cage on the elevated pin. Cab Merch, T of 7, another woman that could eagle this hole. Yeah. We saw Hanley with a chance earlier, but oh. She gets out the window at least. Oh, Evelina, great bid there for birdie.
Evelina's really looking for something to spark up her round. Been quite a handful of mistakes so far.
Saarinen. So look at par just inside the circle. High, but drops in, thankfully. Kristen, birdie look. Has to go 3 down through 5. So match the start of her cardmate Saarinen.
Kristen has played less events than most so far in the season, and it's still early in the season, but for her to play less events, have less competition under her belt so far, she's playing just phenomenal here in the first major of the year.
There's a good putt from Ella Hansen. Cleans up the par. Evelina should do the same. So Lack grabs a stroke on the feature card, moves to 3 down, just 1 off the lead. Now the bogey putt for Weatherman on 10. Well onto circle 2. Emily just 12% in circle 2 on the year. That number will also drop just a bit. Madison Walker to get the 4. Oh. Okay.
Could have been bad.
Yep. Madison Walker was on last year's lead card. And we've got a quick break on the network as the action heats up in Stockton at the Champions Cup.
Bend the reality of what a disc can be and discover Ultra Soft plastic. Ultra Soft has the best grip and flex of any plastic Prodigy has ever made. Check out the entire collection today on ProdigyDisc.com or your local retailer.
We've got Addison Woodard on your screen out of Genoa, Illinois. She was your 2021 FGA 12 winner at Ledgestone. Maybe a little future peek at a Pro Tour winner. At most, she's 15 years old. And smokes the disc foul.
Wow.
Not a great shot, but should work for par at least. There's tons of... Oh, let's get a green flag first before I say that.
And she's on our leaderboard at the moment, so shooting very well. See if she can hang on.
Hole 11, Missy Gannon. Just needs to hold on. And it does not.
It was a great drive for Missy. I mean, there's not much you would change out of that shot.
Back to 8, Walker. Madison trying to bend this one over.
You see the wind was fighting and pushing that disc over to the left. A great disc selection, great flight.
T of 6, Kristen. That was real close on that left tree, wasn't it? Did she make it or did she hit it? Perkins, can you fill us in on that lat drive? Saarinen next.
It's 185 feet to those Mando trees and then about 20 feet between those Mando trees. It's a very small window to hit. That looks great.
My goodness.
So missing the Mando, then you have to take the drop zone, which is basically at the base of those Mandos, and not likely you're going to save your par.
Weatherman missing on the good side. The overturn will keep you safe and out of the water at least. Hansen on 6 to make the double Mando.
That looked like it was on the right side of the trees.
It did, right? Woodard from the drop zone on 8. Oh, she was out of bounds. Unfortunately, this for par. That was an honest effort, Val. My goodness.
Yeah, this is a very tempting drop zone putt. There's some space behind the pin, even though it's an elevated basket. So you want to save it.
Salonen trying to make the double Mando. Oh, she has. Pushes it to circle's edge long. Back to 8, Walker for birdie. A par coming Madison's way there. Hansen did miss the Mando, throwing 3 from the DZ.
So hearing the play about just laying up to those Mando trees, you're setting yourself up hopefully to save yourself par, but you see it's not easy from the drop zone.
Weatherman hits the wheel on the basket. Keeps it right by the bucket for a drop-in par.
So Kristen did make it through.
Yep.
There's her approach.
Gannon found the water off the tee. This now for par. Evelina coming back for birdie on 6. Evelina still looking to get on the board. 4 over on the day. There it is. Perfect putting stroke from Evelina. Let's roll back Azuka. It's a long tournament. 4 rounds on this monster course. If she can keep putting like this, still has a chance. Thanks, Azuka, for rolling that back for us. I love rolling my Azuka card all around the course. Hansen, bogey putt. That's a par putt for Lat. In no problem. And a drop in birdie for Silva Saarinen. And this is not her first drop in birdie today, Val. Through 6.
She is dialed.
Absolutely dealing right now off the tee. Tied for 3rd. But she is setting the pace right now on the course. Your leader, Hannah Wynn and Badinsky at 5. They're a little further along compared to Saarinen. Kristen just one back of Silva. Speaking of Wynn, she's on the tee of 13. This one playing as the par 4 for the women. Just a little placement shot off the tee for Hannah. And she'll have that for her water carry second onto the island green. Go back to 12 for Gannon.
That is full trust in the flight of that disc.
Spitting the spotter. That was a bomb from Gannon. Not too often you see Missy throw that big kind of golf D line like that. She's more of a hyzer flipper.
Yeah, exactly.
That was cool. We've got a Zini flyover here on 7. A really gettable par 5, Val.
Yeah, eagle opportunities, and it's currently the easiest hole on the course. 760 feet, so shorter of a par 5. So you gotta have a big booming drive, get through some trees at the initial part, and then we'll start to cross a golf fairway. So it really opens up pretty wide, but landing where you can set yourself up here in the center to give yourself a lot of space and a higher ceiling to get through these trees here. The hole finishes up with the basket perched up on one of these little knolls, so make it challenging if you're trying to go for that eagle putt. You know, how risky do you want to be? There is OB very close behind the pin, the golf green and OB line, but just flatten out a bit behind the pin. But it's likely if you miss, you're going OB.
Yeah. On the tee, Saarinen just one off the lead. That is crushed, Val.
And she just doesn't falter off of the fairway. Her throws are just so dead straight.
Evelina with a baby flex. That is crushed as well. Latz next on the tee.
Ooh, the wind is really affecting the flight of Kristen's disc. That's a good amount of distance.
Ella.
Would take at least 50 feet off of a drive that she would dream up.
Weatherman, her second on 12 after a great drive. You can see the pin framed up by the tree there. And Emily attacking with a hyzer. And dealing. The geese approve. Walker, tee of 9. Cut down a little early for Madison. Gannon, her second on 12, playing with Weatherman.
After such a great drive, that seemed like she just threw that approach away. But it can be more challenging the farther that you are up on the fairway. That was a tighter angle to go over the water.
Yeah, that's a great point. Walker's second on 9. Madison plays well. Here, watch out for her. Hansen's second after the tree hit off the tee on 7. Playing for position instead of eagle, like she might have hoped. Wynn, and her second on 13, attacking this island green.
Our leader, Hannah Wynn.
Thank you, Val. Oh my!
I can't help to think of last year at the end of the season. Hannah was fighting to get into the Tour Championship. It all came down to her finish at Maple Hill, and if she would make it in the Tour Championships. And so now to see her start off with the first major of the year and leading the event, it's a huge deal. And a major always brings up those kind of storylines of what it would be like to take down a big tournament like this and how it could change your career, add to your legacy. That's it. Major championships really put the pressure on.
Yeah, big time stuff. Gannon says meh on the approach. Should be good enough for par. There he is, Wynn. Man, she got good the hard way too. She came out on tour when she wasn't quite ready, but she has gotten better every single year. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, she was really open and honest with the way that she approaches the game, and getting into the Tour Championships, she's fighting an uphill battle, but she did great. I mean, to get herself in that position to be one of the best of the Tour last year.
That's second on 7. A little farther right than traditional. She'll have to shoot a gap as a result, but does it really nicely. Wow. That's in the circle, Val.
It is, or just right at circle's edge. She's going to have a chance.
Fantastic stuff. She'll have that for a share of the lead to tie Budinsky and Wynn at 5. Although Wynn will have something to say about that on 13's green, which is pretty close. Second for Evelina on 7, going for the big turnover. Eagle aspirations.
Again, holding that flight.
Wow. Pin high after 2 goes Evelina. That's an eagle bid if she wants it. Tap and birdie if she doesn't. Probably. Par putt for Gannon on 12. And Gannon going the wrong way with a bogey on 12.
It started off so good.
It did. That basket gets closer to the water every year, just a couple feet. Weatherman for birdie after 2 great shots.
Picking it back up where she started the round.
And a win for the solo lead, the first to 6. Oh.
6 down. That's an incredible round. I know she's feeling good at this point, but I doubt she knows that she's our leader at this moment.
7 birdies on her day. Their first non-par was a bogey and fighting back after that. Fantastic.
And this is a different layout than we've seen in previous OTB Opens. So we're looking for our first hot round on this format.
Hansen's third. Pitching over for a hopeful drop-in birdie. That's pretty close. Madison Walker. It's a long birdie look on 9. Sarnen, her third on 7. Putting as the easiest hole in the course. You got to grab the birdie at least. If you don't throw in the eagle. Oh my goodness, that was close.
It's always funny to talk about a par 4, a hole that's over 700 feet being the easiest hole on the course. Yeah. But it is just because of that distance for the players to throw just a couple of pretty average distance drives. You can give yourself a look at eagle.
Here is the eagle bid for Lat. Did that chain out?
That looked real good. Great height. Just
Wow.
hyzered out a bit too early.
Oh, what an effort. Evelina, that's for eagle, but it's a layup for birdie instead. It should be back-to-back birdies for Evelina after a bit of a rough start, so that's nice to see. Hansen's about halfway into circle one for this birdie look. Ella's still looking for her first birdie of the day. All pars, 2 bogeys so far. She's had chances though, Val. Let's see if that putter can show up.
That one was on line this time.
Yep. Silva has just 12 feet on this comeback birdie putt to move to 5. One off the lead of Wynn. As expected, Sarnen drops that in. Evelina looks like she has pretty short work for her birdie putt. Fighting back, kind of our 2 defending champions, if you will, both tied at 2 over so far. Evelina, your Champions Cup defender, and Hansen, your OTB. Birdie drop in for that. She's moving up, moves to 4. And go to your tourney leader, Hannah Wynn. Tee of 14. This remains unchanged from last year. Basket in the middle of those big trees, center frame. What a shape on this one.
That is gorgeous, and hopefully she can give herself a look at the pin.
That is Walker tapping in par on 9. Chantel Bedinsky just took a big number on 17, now on 18. Yeah, just took a double on 17, so trying to fight back for the birdie finish on 18. C1X putting. Something to take home.
Yeah, and we have some very challenging finishing holes. Well, 17 and 18, they're a doozy.
They sure are.
So even if your round is on track, it could make all the difference when it comes to the final 2 holes.
Will we see a first-time major winner? And most of your players in the top 10 have not won a major yet. Only Lat, Gannon, and Salonen have major wins so far. Salonen on 8. Or Sarnen, excuse me. We'll get there. And now Salonen. Goes to the power hyzer line, and it fights through beautifully. Short comebacker for birdie in her future. Kristen will show you the forehand line. And right the pin, but stays safe for a birdie look. Hansen next to tee on 8. Ella still looking for that first birdie of the day. Could use a park job here with her great sidearm.
That forehand allows you to really bring it out wide to the left, use the space. But there is an OB line in that tall grass.
Ooh. She was just inside there.
And so it is an optional drop zone if you do go OB. So if you go OB short in the water, the drop zone looks pretty good. But in that tall grass, you'd have a shorter putt from taking it directly from the OB line.
Tee of 10, Walker waving this one up. She's at the drop zone. That should be safe, but we saw a little while ago with Weatherman. That's a tough shot.
She has a great window here. Let's see if she can cash this birdie.
For the 2-stroke lead, finds the catcher Kuzi instead. Easy par coming though. We're flying above hole 8. The gallery continues to grow this beautiful Thursday morning.
So this is my first time being on the property, and it was really fun to actually see the course in person. And a lot of the holes, they're so vast. There's a lot of space out here, but when we came to this hole, I was like, oh yeah, I know this hole. This is very familiar to me from coverage. And so I feel like this is one of the signature holes on the course. And it's a fun birdie to get if you hit the line. There's so much risk involved to hit that perfect shot.
Saarinen in circle 2, trying to nail her perfect shot for birdie. 33% on the year from circle 2, and that's 5% better than second place, 10% better than third.
Yes. This is a green light all day when the winds are calm, but the winds are picking up right here.
My goodness, Val. Barely off as Saarinen from deep in circle 2.
And it's amazing that she could be so aggressive from that distance, but she has that little bit of float underneath her putt. She knows that she's going to at least give it a run and hit metal, so it makes it a little less risky for her putting style. And there is that space, so Ella is at the far end. They have her putting for birdie, so she did end up safe.
Yep. Just a bit. Ooh, that was a great effort from Hansen. Glances off the cage.
I have like 6 meters.
Wind dropping in the par. Kristen, birdie putt to move within 1 of the lead. Just a little low on the elevated pin. Evelina to grab a stroke on the card. She could use it. Would have been a turkey right there too. What a great fight back she had lately. A lot of chains. Just glanced out. Hansen for par. For 3. And Buditsky, second on 18. Attacking this peninsula green. What a great finishing hole.
A big water carry on this second shot.
Oh my goodness.
That would have been a fun way to finish the round.
Glances, chains for eagle. It's a drop-in birdie at least though. Back to 10, Walker, her second. Oh.
Have the power.
Yes, she does. Hits the pin. No. What a brutal roll away. Did not deserve that.
That was such a great throw from Madison. She gets a full flex under this disc, turns over at the perfect moment, and then hyzers back. It's everything you can ask for, except for that nasty rejection.
Oh, my goodness. Well, hopefully the putt can cover up that roll. We'll share that once she gets there. Win. She's on 15.
Thank you.
That moved in towards the pin. She should have a putt for birdie. And now the Walker putt for birdie after the nasty rollout. Gosh, you love the effort.
Pretty good throws.
Drop that.
So we're upcoming on several birthdays that I know of, and Madison and I actually share the same birthday.
Do you? Oh,
on
cool.
May 6th, on Tuesday. I heard that Gannon Burr's birthday is on May 7th.
Okay.
And then you're going to have birthday boy in the booth.
On Sunday,
On
right?
Sunday, Nate Sexton.
It's fun. The big 4-0 for Sexy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Nate Doss's birthday is on May 17th. He's turning the big 4-0 as well.
Sarnen, 9. Oh, that worked. Out left is really nice for that second shot, Bell, huh?
Yeah, that should be really good.
Evelina. Just smushing that disc down the fairway. Wow. Kristen, little wind test for her throw. Somehow missing everything and opening up on that left side. She's in great position. And Hansen, roller coming here? Yep, the roller is down for Hansen. That's a lot of cut. Can he get over? Oh, yeah.
A lot of different fairways you can take off the tee of 9.
Definitely options. That's Chantel Badetsky dropping in the birdie after the near eagle on 18. Let's take one more look at this. Your early contender for your OTB shot of the day. Just need to push, what, like 3 or 4 more inches and it sticks, maybe?
Yeah, and this view isn't showing how daunting that water is. That was a lot of water carry to release your disc nice and wide. And then for it to spike down that close to the pin, she really brought that water into play.
She sure did. Hannah Nguyen, your leader at the Champions Cup, parked it. Drops in the birdie, moves to 7. 2 clear the field right now.
Be sitting at 1 over through 4 holes to start the day, and then all those birdies. I mean, just been fantastic shooting from hole 5 and on. Hannah getting a little length on her lead.
She is.
Great to see that, and it would be awesome if she continues on, finishes this round off really strong, and hopefully we could see her on tomorrow's lead card. Like I said, no easy task to finish this course clean.
Yeah. The last 3 are tough. Well, she gets ready. Let's jump back over to Sarnen for her second on 9.
We see the basket there up on the hill, a little elevated. There is some marked areas, some marked golf greens, a hazard, and an OB long. So you're going to see a lot of these shots coming in short.
Well played by Silva.
And sometimes that marked area scares players enough that they leave it really short and you're just not able to recover. You want to get over that cart path.
Hansen after the roller will go to the sidearm for her second. That's in the circle. It looked like trouble out of her hand, didn't it? But it got some nice flip in the headwind, I think.
You can go if you're ready.
Evelina off to the right-hand side of the fairway for her second.
She made that look effortless.
Yeah. Kristen second. Drop in birdie coming for your world number one. Addison Woodard, T of 11. She was also your 2024 USWGC FA1 champion. So she's got some pedigree, Val.
At a young age.
And she also has a wet disc. Easy to happen there on that one. But that's a par coming up. Another junior champion, Cadence Burge. Second on 18. That looks very low, Val.
How did that happen? I mean, again, I think our view is tough to see really where that edge of land starts. Maybe that was clearing lane the whole time, no doubt, but it was scary from our angle.
Win on 16, weaving up the fairway beautifully. Come on. What a shot.
That is such a good tee shot. I think this hole, when you look at it on paper, it doesn't seem so challenging, but there's so much elevation can bring OB into play.
Yeah, you got the OB left the entire way up there. Trees to miss. Hansen doesn't miss. Nice birdie. On the board goes your defending OTB champion.
Wow. It's very slow start from Ella,
Yeah.
considering all the other scores put out there on the course. But she's on the board.
Sarnen doesn't miss those. Moves to 6. Just one off the lead of Win through 9. Birdie putt for Evelina as well. Trying to climb back to even. The putt has looked good ever since, what was it, hole 2 or 3, something like that? Yeah, 3 there.
Yeah, for Evelina, it's just about that rhythm. If she can get her timing down, she's got all the power even on her misses.
Yeah.
But if she gets the timing down, she's very consistent with her putting stroke.
Another birdie for Lat, and she is just 2 off the lead. Scary for the field through 9. Win, putt for birdie to get to 8 on 16. the chain height just right. Zoe Andike. Putt for bogey on 18. Nice.
Oh, a rough day for Zoe. But she's been doing a lot this week, preparing for some fundraisers for You Play Disc Golf.
You guys had a great day with Zoe the other day, huh?
It was really fun participating in the Disc Golf Strokes fundraiser. So we got to get messy with paint. And we even got our son Luca involved. So hopefully the artist that we were teamed up with, Todd, was able to clean things up and make it worthy of your auction bid.
There it is. You can bid on inspired paintings created by disc golf pros and artists. I've got 2 at my house right now. They're awesome pieces.
Hey, there's ours.
Oh, which one is it?
We're the circles. It's all about full circle, all about family.
Aw.
So we all got to dip our hands in paint. My mom was involved. Sharon Jenkins, Avery Jenkins was involved as well.
Love that.
And the 2 Hot Geese. That was one of my favorite ones. That was by Madison and Erica, and then OTB with the Fox. That was done by Silver and Kristen.
Nice. So this week at Sweat Park, disc golf pros and artists teamed up to create some very cool paintings. The auction closes Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so hop in there before it ends. That was 12 and Walker OB.
I heard you have a couple of those Disc Golf Strokes paintings in your house.
I got a couple from last year. They're awesome. Really pretty cool stuff here. Looking at hole 10 in our birdie zone, provided by Birdie Pro. Val?
So the tee shot, you have to throw over that big OB area, and the ideal landing zone, hopefully your disc drops right in the middle of the kind of tunnel or the road of trees. That's going to give you the best angle. There's OB long of the pit, or long of that landing zone as well, so you have to really dial back your distance. But hopefully you got a nice clean look and you can avoid those trees after your drive to give yourself a nice opportunity to throw over the water, over that tall grass on the right hand side, and get yourself over the water to give yourself a putt.
And that birdie zone provided by our friends over at Boda Brothers. You can play disc golf without leaving your home with Birdie Pro. Join 50,000 that have played and get your copy today. Free shipping during the Champions Cup. That's over at bodabrothers.com. We played that together, Val. You smoked me.
Those games are so fun.
They really are.
And I'm thinking, how do you design a hole like this?
Yeah.
I think the obvious line is, yep, you set the tee box on that road, you got the straight tunnel shot, but no, Leonard takes it immediately to the right, brings in some more artificial OB, makes that tee shot just this, you have to just place your disc in bounds. There's some really interesting holes out on this course.
Yeah, it's got a great shape on it. Sarnen loves a turnover, stepping up.
I'm trying to stay to the right of that bushy tree that we see in the center of our screen. Throwing it high enough to clear the OB.
And that should be good enough for her second.
So it's at least 300 feet to get over that OB line, the OB area, I should say.
Evelina. Fantastic drive from Salonen. And Wynn tapping into par on 16. Nicely done by your leader. Back to 10 for Kristen. That one fell out of her hand, Val. And it falls open. Oh, it fought through, excuse me. Wow. Somehow fighting through that tree. Hansen. Lovely drive from Ella.
Step 1 complete.
Yep.
Get it over the OB. Hopefully you'll land where you're on or near that road.
Hole 11 in Paige Pierce for 3 straight birdies. Big make. Paige is one. She's 3 down now thanks to that turkey right there. She'll chase the ham bone on 12. I'll show you that as it happens.
And Paige, Champions Cup champion. She has that on her resume.
And OTB, huh?
And
She's got 'em
OTB,
both.
3-time
Yeah.
OTB champion as well, out on this course. So this is a great chance for Paige to get another major title under her belt.
Scoggins waving geese or people, do you think? Geese. It's usually geese.
The culprits.
Yep. Birdie putt for Scoggins. Dead center from Scoggins, just a little low. Drop in par. Not bad on a scary putt. 17 with your leader win.
Not much to talk about on the drive of 17, but it really comes down to the second shot. Over the water, over the hill.
Lat, second. That one fights back inbounds for a circle 2 look at birdie on the elevated pin.
I was worried about those trees.
Yeah.
A bigger kick could have sent her OB. Thankfully, though, she did clear over into that OB area where the basket is. I think that's the biggest thing you have to think about if you're going to make a mistake. Make sure that you can throw over the water, cross inbounds on the basket side, so you can at least take your shot from up there. Maybe throw it in to save yourself.
Silva's second coming up. Perk, talk about this lie here for Silva.
Yeah, a tree shouldn't be in her way right here. She's probably just at the 300-foot mark and still gonna go with the standstill. It's quite impressive, and not getting the exact turn that she was looking for, but it floats across the water and she'll be just inside the circle looking at yet another birdie.
Thank you, Nate. She'll take that. She is good for those more often than not. Sarnen 82% on the year inside the circle. Evelina, her second on the same. What a drive this was. Nearly perfect. And not a bad second either in the circle for her birdie look. Paige Pierce, 12. That's pretty cool, Val.
Smashed.
Yeah. Back to 10 for Hansen's second. That's the best of the bunch. Rumbles just outside the bullseye for Ella. We are back live with your leader, Win, her second on 17.
Oh, I turned it.
It's easy to see the miss right there, huh? You know, you want to get across the water. Gets the green flag, thankfully.
Well, that must have gone way down the hill for as long as it took that spotter to find the disc.
Truth. It's a great look at the water on hole 10. Here's your card making their way across the path. Yeah, a little reminder, you got coupon code, I believe it's Major25 over at FlightFactoryDisc.com. That's for free shipping over there.
This is where we start to bring in the geese. And that could be such a distraction. You know, for the President's Cup, there was a goose, and now you can see in the background a couple of little goslings. They're protective right now with these little babies.
Long look at birdie for that.
Just barely off.
That was a great bid on the elevated pin. Sarnen walking to her circle 1 putt. Has this to grab a share of the lead with Win. Perfect, Val. Literally perfect. That woman is calm, cool, and collected always, it seems like.
She has put herself in contention at the biggest events, and you do see some bits of nerves when her game gets a little shaky, but otherwise she is just that dead straight with the drives, the putts.
Evelina to fight back to even. Yes, she does. You'll love to see it. Great putt. There's some life in your defending champion there. Rough start. Has fought back to even on the day. Hansen for birdie to also move back to even. Ooh. The putter has betrayed Hansen today so far. Disappointing par after 2 great shots on the par 4. Par for that as well. And they're off to the dangerous hole 11. Second for Scoggins on 12. Circle 2 look for Owen coming up. On the same Pierce with her second. Took 2 very different ways to play this hole, Val.
That's what I was thinking, and to have those 2 players on the same card, Paige, who could be so aggressive, and then Owen, who is just accurate and plays more strategic golf to get her scoring.
Birdie putt for Win on 17.
Whoa! What a save!
What a make! Oh my goodness.
There's a drop off behind the pin down to OB on that tree line. That was such an aggressive putt.
With that one shot, takes the solo lead right back at the Champions Cup. You'll love to see it.
That'll give you some energy heading into hole 18.
Yes, it will. And fans can use coupon code DGPT for 25% off your order over at oneshotenergy.com. That's the number 1. Explore a wide range of energy chews, focus chews, and voice drops. We sampled those yesterday.
Yeah, we had some voice drops yesterday.
Yeah.
You and I are jacked up on a one-shot energy chew right now, cherry flavored.
That's nice.
Wow. It was an amazing putt from
It sure
Hannah.
was.
Wow.
11, Silva. This is extra safe from Saarinen. She does not want this disc wet. There's a putt if she wants it. We'll see. She's fantastic in circle 2.
I haven't seen her lay up.
That's also
so.
true. That's also true, Val.
I'm waiting for it.
Evelina attacking the pin with this one.
That was such a great shot. And you can tell that it was slowing down at the end. It was just perfectly controlled speed.
That was a nice 12 feet she got on that kick late, too. A really helpful 12 feet. Lat. T of 11.
Decision will have to be made whether she wants to be aggressive on that putt or not.
Hansen.
The area right around the basket is hard pack, really fast, and can get a lot of skips, but Ella keeps that way out to the right. Gives herself some more space, but again, she'll have a decision as well. And with the way that her putt has looked today, I'm assuming we'll see a layup.
That feels like the smart play, doesn't it? Scoggins. Circle 2 for birdie. Third on the season out there, but that one doesn't drop. Second on the season in circle 2 putting is Paige Pierce. Just a circle 1 putt, though, for her. It gets it done. Paige Pierce. Is that 4 in a row for Paige Pierce?
He is chugging along.
Now just 4 off the lead thanks to that birdie once it shows up on 12 for Pierce.
Not thinking of, we mentioned Paige Pierce, the champion from the Champions Cup back. It's been a while.
So she's got a major?
The last major she won was the European Open back in 2023, and then it wasn't long after that where she hurt her ankle. Right. She had that ankle injury, and so it's been a long time coming for her to get her strength back, to get her confidence back in. It requires all the power in your body, and if you have an injury, it's a lot to fight back from. And this is a flashback to that Champions Cup, the first Champions Cup that we have seen in history.
What a dramatic finish this was on 18.
The battle between her and Kristen on this final hole.
That was for the win, gets the nasty rollout, and then to push the playoff. Oh, that was a rough one.
And a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell how bad Kristen wanted that win and felt like it slipped through her fingers. And that's the heartbreak. I mean, even though we see Kristen hoisting so many trophies, we've all been through the heartbreak of losing a big tournament that seemed to be right there. Even Paige Pierce, you have to go through those struggles to get yourself into a position that you can try again, and hopefully you'll come out on top next time. And we know that's been the story for Kristen all these years.
For a share of the lead? Gave it a full bid, Val. Gutsy stuff from Saarinen. One more look from across the water. Just a couple inches low, but right on line. Ella and Kristen both pitched up for par. Last birdie chance here coming for Evelina to get to under for the first time today. Yes. Love to see her make that one. That was the grit, the resolve from Salonen. You take a 7, a triple bogey after you just took a bogey on 1. It's so easy to give up. She is fighting beautifully. A lot of action at the Champions Cup. It's heating up in Stockton. We'll be right back.
nobody is immune to a course like Northwood Black.
Just throwing laser beams.
That's so good.
Bresnell, the birdie, the fist pump.
Critical shot.
Gotta get up. Bresnell.
That is a shot of a champion.
Your 2024 Champions Cup winner, Andrew Bresnell.
Tournament leader Hannah Wynn, T of 18, trying to bring it home. Oh, that stays clean. That's nice. Evelina, 12.
Boom.
Yep.
The farther you can throw this tee shot, the shorter you can make the approach, but hopefully you're landing in a spot where it makes that second shot decision a little easier. I like being a little more on that right side.
Silva with a turnover. And solid distance there. Flat. That's a fantastic shot of that great shot. Looking down from above in our Flight Factory drone. Paige Pierce looking for 5 in a row on the tee of 13. That is a great drive. Maybe a couple feet higher for some extra distance, but she's in business to attack the island. We are now live as she does just that with her second. For the Yahtzee, 5 birdies in a row coming up for Pierce if she can make that putt. Evelina's second, back on 12.
Oh boy.
Oh, man. The way it was spiking down, a little too much hyzer. Needed a little more height to get it to carry over land. So now she's just going to advance to the lake's edge and throw from there.
Yeah.
Likely another shot over the water.
It's a big cooler. She had birdied 5 of the last 6 as well. But hopefully she can get back on track after this one. Silva's second. Tough look here, Val. Is she going to shoot this tunnel?
That would seem like a Silva thing to do.
With ya. Slides into circle 1. There she is, over 80% on the year. I think she was waiting for a caddy that spoke the same language as her, perhaps.
That helps.
Yeah. Kristen's second. Kind of options here. What would you pick if you're Kristen?
Well, I think it's tough for Kristen being this far on the right. Although that tree on the right-hand side of her screen probably isn't in the way, it'll get in her mind to actually play that shot a little bit more straight rather than what we saw from Evelina going wide out to the right.
Misses inside. Will it fight
great.
through? Oh,
Wow.
it does. Wow.
And
That's a break.
Yeah, it sure is. And that the fact that she can't go wide over the water because of that tree, it brings those branches into play.
Kristen's gotten away with a couple. They had that drive on 10 that also fought through that OB tree. We're looking at Hannah Wynn lining up her second on 18. She's locked in, Val.
Alrighty.
She will have that to get to 9 on the day and be your clubhouse leader. Hansen second on 12 after a fantastic drive.
And lets it go early. And,
Looks OB.
and I'm not sure that she crossed. It looked like it hit short of that OB line. I don't know. They might give her a spot up there. The spotter had a better eye.
Yeah. Evelina's fourth after her OB second. That is really well done. That will clean up bogey nicely.
Everyone heads up to the piece on the right. She's not on the angry.
Skog has found the OB on 13. This for par from the DZ.
Oh! How can you dare like that? You dare!
You tell it, Owen. Paige Pierce for 5 in a row. The streak ends, but at least it's a par, not a bogey for Pierce. She'll stick at 4 for the time. That's 4 back of Wynn, who's got a chance to make it 5. Back on 12, lap for birdie. A very long look. Layup.
Yeah, it was a conservative go for. Yeah, but she was way back.
Wynn. Grab a 2-stroke lead as she heads to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
What a day for Hannah Wynn. One she won't forget for a long time. Just that one bogey on 2 and then just dealing.
It's kind of crazy. I was reading the notes on this course and what scores were projected. What would the best round be? And they said for the men, they're expecting double digits. For the women, anything approaching double digits. And that's exactly where Hannah landed. So considering that, the course record at the moment, the best round that we've seen so far on this layout.
Too cool. This is Hansen to save par after the OB second.
Come on now.
Ugh, gross. That's one of those putts where you'd rather airball it than hit metal. Oof. Silva, another one. What a day from her. Through 12, 8 down, and a clean 8 as well. So much OB to find on this course too. Mandos to miss. She's doing it all, Val.
Yeah.
And that rollout means this is a double bogey putt for Hansen. Ella's going to need to do something pretty special from here on out. She wants to chase down our leaders and defend that OTB. Avelina for bogey. Slide back to even. A little cooler after a great stretch, but she can get cooking here shortly. That's a par drop in for Kristen.
Jump in there.
And Hannah Wynn. What a round. Your leader at the Champions Cup as we head to break. Back in just a few.
It's that time of year again. The Discraft Tour Series returns, this time in the legendary Z-Swirl plastic. One of the most popular blends in Discraft history, the Z-Swirl blend brings unmatched grip, durability, and those signature swirls that made it a fan favorite. Support your favorite Discraft pros and throw like the best. Discraft, built for flight.
The story of the day, Hannah Wynn. 10 birdies, your leader at the Champions Cup. Just that one bogey early.
And for Hannah, that's going to be the easiest round of the tournament.
That's right.
A lot less pressure. I mean, if she continues to shoot this well, the pressure is going to build up, and it's going to be the biggest. All the lights are going to be on her. It's going to be the biggest stage she's ever been on. But look at this scorecard. I mean, this was such an incredible day. And like I said, I'm sure she wasn't thinking that this was going to be her day through 4 holes. But that just absolutely shreds the rest of the course.
To her credit, we set that hot round camera out to her, and she kept it up, Val.
She did. Yeah, that can make some people nervous when they see the cameras start to show up.
That happens a lot. You know it. Saarinen. A little overturned on that one.
Yeah, there should be enough space, though.
Lat next. Is that par 4 with the island green. Just a placement shot off the tee. And Kristen places it nicely.
Yeah, it is good to be on that left side. There's just that one huge tree in the middle of the fairway that if you stay to the left of it, you're going to have a more open second shot, which is a water carry, once again, over to the island green.
Evelina catches a late limb in that tree. That'll make for a longer second than hoped for. Hansen. And our man Nate Perkins has caught up with your clubhouse leader, Hannah Wynn. All yours, Perkins.
Hannah Wynn, 9 under par. Just talk to us, let us know how you're feeling and what was really clicking out there.
I'm feeling so good. I woke up this morning just happy. I love being here. being able to park here at the course and just waking up to sunshine and pretty green fairways. And one of my really good friends, Kay, is here to help caddy, and she's also from my hometown, so the energy was just really good from the start.
All right.
And then I had my caddy notes, and I just wanted to keep it clean out there, and my drives were just feeling so good. And I think that's what was the number one factor, were my drives. The putting, I missed a couple C1s, but
okay,
it was all right.
Well, you started off 1 over through, I believe, the first 4 holes. What was going through your mind then, and how were you able to turn it around?
1 over was fine. I was like, I can just get 1 birdie and be even, and then just try and play my game. Out here, I just really wanted pars. I thought pars was going to be really good because there's just so much water in OB and hazard. But just wanted to keep it clean. And I told my caddy Kay, I'm like, I already made 1 mistake. I can't do it again. So just keeping it easy. Yeah.
Well, Hannah, coming into this round, your career best rated round was 1,007 last year. Unofficially, this 9 down is 1027 rated. What are your first thoughts on that?
Wow, that's crazy. That's the highest rating I've ever had. And 9 down here, I think it feels like that. Yeah.
Well, is that something that you're going to be able to repeat tomorrow and into the weekend?
I don't think so, because I think a good round for me here is like 3 or 4 down. Getting the 9, I don't know, that was just wild. Everything was just so good. I would love to repeat it. I think I can, like, on another good day. But I'm just going to tone it back and be like, maybe I can do good, but not as good.
All right, guys. Hannah Wynn, keeping it humble after a career day. Congrats on the round. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah and Nave, for that. Fun interview with Hannah. Wow.
I'm just still soaking in that interview and just hearing her reaction of like, do you think you could do it again? You know, most people would probably lie out their teeth saying, oh yeah. Sure, every day I could do that.
Maybe she's an under-promise, over-deliver type of girl.
See, that's a good place to set your expectations, especially at a major tournament.
Let's talk about some Hannah highlights. There were a whole lot to pick from. Unfazed by the camera, too.
This putt right here, this is my pick right now for the OTB shot of the day. I mean, it is so gutsy to go for that putt with the drop off behind.
Here's another one, huh?
Just so steady. And that's a good promise to maybe what we'll see tomorrow. I mean, she'll likely be on either the lead card or the chase card, but to see her perform under that kind of pressure, it's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she did it today, so she can do it again if she wants to.
On 15. This is 15. Excuse me, 14. Pierce trying to stretch that out. Not to be. That should turn into a par, though. Sarnen did overturn that shot OB on 13. The third is good, though. She'll have that for par.
Yeah, it is an open look, but yeah, having an OB stroke handed, you're just handing strokes to the field.
That second is cruising a little straight. A lot straight. She'll be headed to the drop zone and attempt to save par. Probably the biggest mistake we've seen from Kristen today, I want to say. One more look at this. You see anything, Val, or sometimes you just miss?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just a little bit overturned, forcing that disc to fly a little flatter. And from where she was, she could have thrown a more hyzer spike into the green. You do want to go long of this pin. You want to make sure that you're crossing over the inbounds area and there is more space behind the pin rather than landing just short. But yeah, that was way too juiced up.
And again, walking around this duckweed-filled pond. It's nice and green, though. It's got that going for it, which is nice.
There are some spotters out here that have been in these ponds, but I've yet to see anybody swimming in this one for discs. Come on.
Merge. There's your OTB shot of the day so far, Val. My goodness. The forehand throw-in, huh? Was this a putt, you think, even?
I'm assuming she's not expecting it to go in, but once you hit that line, you got to hope for it.
What a highlight from Merch. Awesome stuff.
Feeling like today the color of the day is pink.
Yeah, it plays today, huh?
Yeah, Merch with that great shot. That's what Hannah was wearing.
Yeah.
Chantel's wearing pink.
Kristen's got a little
Kristen.
pink. Yeah, for par.
Come on. Catches edge, rolls long, but stays safe.
That was dramatic.
Whoa.
Wow. Unmakeable comeback bogey putt at least. Saarinen will step into the circle and try to save par after her OB drive. Actually, she might be outside here, huh? This is close.
Yes.
She makes it look so easy, Val, and it is not.
Yeah, we just all dreamed to putt like Silva.
Hansed could use a putt like Silva today. One more look at this Saarinen make.
And I love that it's just so powerful. It's a clean and flat release.
Birdie putt for Ella. Yes!
That was a great release. Her timing was dialed up perfectly.
And that's a nice bounce back after the double on 12, after the mean roll away she got there. Evelina looking at birdie, also to bounce back off a bogey. The putt has looked good for Evelina lately. And stays solid. Nice make. Bogey putt for Kristen. Missy Gannon, her second on 18. Off to the right a little bit there, but it is safe for Missy. Pierce, 15 for birdie.
There we go. Just let a few of those birdies slip through her fingers.
Pierce is making moves today, Val.
Yeah, and she's given herself a look for birdie on so many holes out of this course, so that's a good sign going into the week.
Sten was OB off the tee through her third to here. This to save par. Anakin with a great putt. Norway's finest right there, showing you that. Like I mentioned, Pierce moving up the board to a tie for fourth with her friend Missy Gannon. Just 4 off the lead of Wynn. Scrolling down a page for you. There's Emily and Evelina.
A big putt from Kat Merch, or big throw-in,
Yeah.
let's say.
Uh-huh.
Brings her back to even par and a tie for 16th.
15-year-old Addison Woodard. 1 down. Pretty impressive. And Perkins Val noticed for the first time that Evelyn has a caddy. Any info on that? Silva, excuse me.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, and I kind of popped over there to ask her, you know, how she knew Silva. It's actually Silva's sister. First time to California, first time to the United States, and She's also, you know, not too keen on speaking English, so I think it kind of gives Silva a little outlet, you know, a little bit of comfort to talk to her sister in Finnish. You know, she's talking to her before and after pretty much every shot, and we all know just how far that can play, having someone comfortable for you on the bag.
Yeah, really with you there, Nate. That's awesome to hear.
Now, Nate, I want you to find out how far her sister can throw. Does her sister compete? I wonder if it runs in the family.
Hansen, after a nice drive from Evelina.
Oh, yeah. That's as good as it gets.
And Silva's drive. A clean 8 down through 13 for Saarinen. She will have a look for another birdie after a great drive again. Kristen looking for a bounce back after her first bogey of the day, back on 13. A little too high and pays the price. She'll be playing for par from there.
Now I'm still, you know, pretty shocked that Kristen, this is her first time playing in California.
Yeah,
like that still seems unbelievable to me after all these years on tour and traveling around. Like she just missed the springtime tour, which always happens on the West Coast.
Pierce inbounds. Thankfully, that settled quickly. Here's the Missy Gannon birdie putt on 18. Finished long and left of the pin. Dangerous proposition here to get super aggressive from this distance. We'll see what she does. Missy's pretty smart. And that's an understatement. Nice layup for par. Back to 14 in Kristen for her second. Just outside the bullseye for par. That will keep her at 4, which is 5 off your lead of win. Scoggins blew past on the birdie putt, coming back for par. Yes. Oh, and Scoggins doesn't miss 2 putts in a row, Val.
Wow. Yeah, you don't see it. But to just not let a huge miss like that phase her. For her to step up and just reset and cash it in.
Pierce to grab another birdie and move to 6 within 3 of the lead. Low and left, but a drop in par at least.
I can count, no, I think at least 4 birdie putts that Paige has missed just in the last few holes.
Saarinen, speaking of birdies.
Whoa, that hangs on.
Diciest looking putt so far, but it did the job for Silva.
Dancing on the rim. Wow, that could have teeter-tottered either way.
Nice to see it slide the right one. There's Kristen's par.
With the distance of this hole, I feel like this is a gotta get. The players want to really get the birdie on this one. But it can be so challenging with these last trees just guarding the basket. Evelina's in prime position here, not even having to think about the trees.
Evelina continues her fight back. Now 2 under. That's a drop in for Hansen.
There we go. Oh, once you broke through on that first birdie, now they're starting to come a little easier.
There we go. Silva and sister. has grabbed a share of the lead thanks to that birdie putt. Let's show you how she got there.
What a way to start the reel. Here's how she got to it.
From
Here's why
60.
she's a leader. Yep, exactly. Just incredible putts, as we expect from Silva, and then just so consistent. She just throws these just beeline drives. And distance can really give you an advantage out here on this course, but you see that enough distance and great accuracy is really allowing Silva to score. And big putts. I mean, she's really saving herself on the putting green. She's outside the putting green most of the time on those big putts.
Even these circle one makes a bend from like the back half of circle one or more. Really impressive stuff. A lot of feet of putting so far for Silva. And she was real close to winning the Casey White Open. Led going into 17 and lost in the playoff there. So maybe some redemption here. The Champions Cup.
It's a lot of those heartbreaks and losses that really allows a player to grow. Allows you to, next time you got another chance, how are you going to handle it? Can you, take those mistakes you learned from and, put it to your advantage this time around? See if Silva can hold on.
Pardon me, that was the Music City Open as Evelina throws a really nice drive into circle one.
Yeah, it was Holland Hanley that took down Kansas City.
There you go. Hansen. Gonna roll the circle's edge for a birdie look for Ella. Saarinen.
Wow.
So she might grab that solo lead sooner than later, Val. She'll have that to move to 10. Flat. From Finland to Estonia, let's head to Norway for Sten. What an international game we've got all of a sudden here on the FPO side. It's cool.
Yeah, really strong competitors, really committing themselves to being on tour.
That is OB left for Norway's finest. Paige Pierce making moves at the Champions Cup, T of 17. A little lower and a little shorter than Paige would have liked, but her arm should be able to make up for the deficit. 18, Sten, her third after the OB drive. Tough look for the lefty, Val.
Yeah, it is. Got that OB line that continues on the left side, and then the water creeping in on the right. She's trying to land it on that side hill as it's sloping down to the water. Not biting off too much there.
Back to your feature card, and Kristen, second shot. Just a pace or two outside bullseye for par.
This will now be the third par 3 that I feel like Kristen could easily get, but she has just hit halfway down the fairway with no chance of birdie.
That's right. Sten's fourth. attacking this peninsula green.
Still a scary shot for a lefty.
Oh boy.
I saw the shadow overland on that side, so I think she did cross.
Birdie putt for Hansen back on 15. Some days the putt's there and some days it's not. You ever feel like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And for Ella, yeah, it's different to see the different ways she misses each time. It's not a consistent stroke. A lot of times it's on that left side, but these are overpowered on the right.
The putter's been working for Evelina, and it continues. Awesome make for Salonen. 3 in a row. Saarinen for the solo lead. Smashes that home.
We've reached double digits.
It happened.
With holes to play. They're challenging holes, but you can still get birdies. So let's see if she continues to grow on that lead.
Par putt for Kristen. That will stick her at 4. Which is now 6 off the lead of Saarinen. Hansen in for par. And they're off to our finishing 3 holes. Saarinen grabbing that solo lead with a birdie on 15. Your last commercial break coming up. On the other side, crunch time on the Disc Golf Network. We'll see you there.
My name is Garrett Gerthy, also known as Double G, and I'm the founder of Double G Craft Jerky.
Double G Craft Jerky is an awesome snack when you have a hankering on the course. You need a little something to pick you up out there so you can really get after a drive or finish on a putt and capitalize.
When you're playing a disc golf round and you're hungry and you don't have a snack on the course, you start to lose focus, you start thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner. With Double G Craft Jerky, that's not a problem.
Coverage of the Champions Cup, and if you're watching this on YouTube today and you happen to be a PDGA member, you can watch the rest of it for free as part of your PDGA membership benefits. Gotta love that. You can scan the QR code or visit the link to redeem your free DGA content and enjoy the rest of the season's first PDGA Pro Major live this weekend. Second shot for Pierce after a short drive on 17. It is crunch time. We are commercial free the rest of the way through thanks to our friends at 1010 Discs. It's a big second from Pierce, but she'll need a big third to make that birdie putt. Back to your feature group and Salonen. T of 16. OB left.
OB right at the top of that hill. Of course, you gotta make that Mando. And where the basket's perched, it's a pretty steep side hill. So it's tough to land a backhand and hyzer without having it catch edge and roll down to the OB.
Silva. This might be trouble if it doesn't hit a tree. That should be wet, unfortunately.
Yeah, gravity just pulls any disc that's starting to hyzer down the hill toward that OB line. It's really tough to fight it.
First mistake for Silva today.
A sidearm's a great choice, but Ella leaves it low and it goes right into the ground.
Yeah, I'm with you on the sidearm here. It feels a lot less scary. flat. Slow stretch for Kristen. 1 over on the last 6. That started really nicely, though. See if that can find an edge, and yes, it can. Likely might grab 2 strokes on the leader here.
I feel like this is a bonus birdie
Yeah.
for the field. You can make up strokes on everyone if you can get that birdie.
Speaking of bonus birdies, can Pierce grab one on 17? Circle 2 bid.
Yes.
Second on the season from Circle 2, and she's showing it that right there. Awesome putt from Pierce. Let's roll back Azuka.
It's nice to see this one connect from long range. Like I said, she's been giving herself so many birdie chances. And so she's let about 3 of them slip through and gotten the par. But what a stretch that would be with all the chances at birdie she's gotten. That's back 9.
Hansa gets it into the circle, and importantly not OB. She'll have that left for par. I love the shape Paige put on that putt too. Evelina second, and she'll have that for par.
Right around this tree, 5 feet out.
Sarnen still a chance to save par. Leading the tour in Circle 2. Come on, Val. Come on.
Unbelievable.
She is automatic.
Wow.
And just strolls it right home. A monster make after the OB tee shot, saves par, keeps that scorecard clean, keeps the solo lead. Big stuff.
She did give us a little bit of emotion, thank the crowd, but man, if that were me, be jumping up and down. I mean, I'm more emotion in the booth, I feel like. Great putt there from Ella.
Yeah. I bet she wants that one back, too.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if we're
a
getting
murky,
it, though. Yeah.
murky water. Sister, I need some help.
Take off those shoes. Kristen, to grab a stroke on the card. She could use it right now. It's been a little slow lately. That gets her to even on the back 9 so far. Bunch of pars and 1 bogey otherwise.
And what a great drive to land on the side hill. Sometimes you have that downhill putt or sometimes the uphill putt with that OB line behind.
Solid putting continues for Evelina. No problems there on the par putt. 2 to go, round 1, Champions Cup. Anakin after finding the OB for a double bogey. Tough finish to a great day for Sten. Slides back to 4, but still firmly in the mix of the Champions Cup. A lot of great names in that top 10.
As we're seeing more of those scores finish up for the day, Hannah is still holding on into the top position. Likely to see her on the lead card tomorrow.
Kristen up first on 17's tee. Just a placement off the tee, setting up the water carry second. Salonen. Nicely placed by Evelina. And now Silva.
It's tough to throw that tee shot because you can't see the landing area that you're aiming for. There's a slight hill, a little bump up that you have to clear, but they're throwing around 300 feet, trying to nestle it just short of the edge of the pond.
Hansen opts for the forehand. And skips it down the fairway nicely. Everyone in business off of 17's tee. They should attack the green from there. Let's jump ahead to 18 and Paige Pierce to see how she gets off the course. You like that?
That should work.
And looking at the green of 17 as our players walk to their lie. Perk, talk about the second shot here as they attack the green on 17.
Yeah, you really want to bite off a ton of distance off the tee, and if you push it right, you can likely see the pin. A lot of these players just can't see it, and then they have this low ceiling oak branch that they have to get just under and just left of, but you don't want to hit with too much speed or too much angle because you can find that OB line left that's looming just 40 feet left of the bucket. Kristen has a little bit of a tailwind right to left right here. Likely gonna play this with just a touch of hyzer straight toward that oak tree on the right, and she does just that. Needs it to get back pretty quick. It kind of pushed straight. Oh, and that's gonna get a bad roll. She's out there at the edge of C2.
Thank you, Perkins. A likely par coming for that.
I think I've seen way too many tree hits and rollaways today. Some brutal rollaways on a relative, in areas that I wouldn't expect.
Yeah, it's a pretty flat course overall.
Pretty flat course. There's
Yeah.
a lot of baskets perched up on hills, but I feel like I've seen all the rollaways on the flatland.
Hansen, her second across the pond.
Geese are taunting, trash talking from the lake. But she gets it up on top of the hill.
Oh, wow.
That's a putt for birdie.
That fought through beautifully for Ella. Ella has birdies on 2 of the last 4. Started to heat up a little later than hoped for, but starting to make a move. She'll have that putt to get back to the level on the day.
I was going to say, better throwing than catching, but she's an ultimate superstar, so she's good at both.
She is. Perkins, what does Evelina have to deal with on this water carry second? What's the wind looking like?
Yeah, well, she had the biggest drive of the bunch. She's probably inside 330 here, and she's going to be able to go with the mid-range there, and that is dialed up perfectly. She's going to be just outside the bullseye on the back side of the pin.
What a shot from Evelina. Thank you, Nate. Sarnen and her second. What a shot from Silva. Perkins, what have you seen from Silva today? Coming off that Music City heartbreak, but the golf has been fantastic. Talk about the demeanor you've seen from her as well.
Yeah, she's tough to read, Ian. You know, she's down here. There's not a lot of emotion, really good or bad. But really, she's just the coldest player on the green, I think, maybe in the sport right now. I don't think anybody is hitting C2 putts the way that she really is this season. I felt like she was at a slight disadvantage going into this event because it is more of a power course, but she's kind of proven me wrong. She's really put herself in position to score on holes where I thought she might not be able to with a lot of the power that she showed and the standstills, but they're working for her, and I think she could go double digits every round this year.
It really feels like it. Putt like this every round, and you will. You mentioned earlier, came very close to winning at the Music City. Final round, hole 18. Kristen parking it. Unbelievable.
Silva and Kristen push it to the playoff. That was Kristen's drive, and Silva misses this. And it's tough. I mean, if you're pouring your heart and soul and your life is devoted to playing disc golf, being that close to winning a tournament and letting it slip away from you, it hurts. And again, it's only something that Silva can learn from, and it leads up to big moments like this.
Yeah. Paige is second on 18 after a booming drive. That one a little too big from Pierce. So Paige likely will finish with a bogey. Oh, Sarnen, a rare miss. Had that to get to 11, but she'll stick at 10 with one to go. Hansen for birdie. She did the same score as when she woke up. One hole to make it better. Evelina, birdie putt. Man, what resilience from Evelina today. Unfortunate miss there.
Yeah, on that last shot, it looked like you could see her smile, so it looked like things were turning around.
Yeah.
But, it's just brutal to see misses like that. But you can see the wind. It's definitely blowing around the green.
One hole left to go. That's hole 18. Also where you will find Paige Pierce with a look at par.
She looks like she's lining up to go for it.
I think you're right. That's an honest effort from your modern era goats out there. Scoggins. Boo.
No way.
That was for par. She will finish with a bogey. Disappointingly so. That slides Scoggins back to even on the day. Blomroos.
Spits out as well.
It did? Oh, man. Someone take the lid off this basket. Cammerch gets it in, but that's also a bogey. That is a bogeys all around for your second feature card on 18. We'll hope for better for our feature 1 card. their walk from 17 over to 18's tee as your feature card. A live look down at that from our Flight Factory drone. Kurt, tell us about 18 and what you're seeing out there today as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's been one of the most interesting holes over the years here at OTB, and I think it's a quality change to make it the 18th. And yeah, they've really tightened that OB line on the left, so you really have to think about that when you're going for that low ceiling drive, to not just hyzer skip it way left. And then again, up by the green, it's kind of pinched in, and right now they're looking at a little bit of a headwind right to left as they approach over the water.
Okay. Thank you, Perk. That flyover brought to you by Zenny. You got coupon code DGPT for 10% off your order there. Make sure you take advantage of that.
And thinking about the wind, hopefully that right to left carries the disc, pushes the disc back to the inbounds area. These players do want to throw that second shot wide over the water, but a little help from the wind can really make sure it comes back over land.
It's a great look at the entirety of the hole. The tee tucked in those trees, centered bottom.
And a great finishing hole now.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Now 18 change up, and this really brings the drama, having another water carry at the end.
Hansen coming off the birdie on 17. Throws a nice tee shot on 18.
That's a big drive right there.
Whoa, Val.
You do have to be, you want the power, but you have to be accurate on this drive, depending on which lane you choose to go down.
Evelina.
I feel like that's a more obvious line to throw. It's a safer shot, but Evelina hyzers out early, so she didn't get as much distance as Kristen.
Silva.
Silva shares that line with Evelina. I was expecting Silva to actually go on that the left-hand route. She likes to throw those long, late turning Anheuser shots.
Silva has the only clean scorecard in the field today. Let's see if she can keep it clean on 18. One big shot coming up. And reminder, this is a major 300 points at stake, Val. You can make a big move this weekend.
It's a big deal. And that's always a bonus to actually the fact of you winning a major title. But it's a great bonus. Help you out on the tour, and more tour points, more money at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, what? Holland has a 160-point lead, but that could evaporate after this tournament, depending on how she does and how the rest of the field does.
We haven't talked much about Holland today.
Oh, yeah, huh? How did Holland Hanley finish? She finished even on the day, Val. Had a nice start, but unfortunately did finish with a triple on 18. So that hurt.
Yeah, and again, thinking about the course change and hole 18 being different, you got to have a sizable lead to feel comfortable on 18 on Championship Sunday.
That's a great point. Hansen's second, attacking this peninsula green.
Woo! Forehand. I don't think that crossed.
I don't think so either. There'll be a ways up the fairway at least, but
That's a big miss from Ella. There's so much space on that left side to carry over land.
Evelina. This looks to be a little left. Find safe ground. Should be a par finish for Evelina. And man, after hole 3, she threw a heck of a round, Val. Eight birdies on the day. Salonen Saarinen, currently 6th in tour standings, has not been in the top 10 of world standings prior to this season. She's making a move, huh? Her second. And she'll have that to get to 11.
That's a great throw. And from what we've seen of her all day, I'm expecting her to go for that one.
Yeah. I am with you there, Val. We have not seen. Have she laid up once today?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And there's not a lot of time to deliberate and talk about whether she's going to go for the putt or not. She pretty much stands up to every putt, walks up, stands behind her lie, and goes for it. Yeah.
This is Kristen's second on 18. Currently tied for third with Pierce and Gannon. Looking for solo third with a birdie.
Kristen also with the forehand. This is so scary. OB.
OB. At least that one did cross in, and she should be pretty close.
Yeah, at least rode the line.
Yeah. So should have a chance at par and to maintain a share of third.
But if you're throwing that shot, you know that the disc is going to start to fade to the right. So you have to utilize all of that space on the left side of the fairway. Go over the OB line on that left. And even if you're short and wide, at least you're in bounds.
Yeah. Feels like an unforced error there, huh?
Yeah, and if she does get to take it up there, it'll be a shorter putt. But yeah, see how far back Ella's lie ended up.
Ella will have that left for bogey and to end her day at 1 over. So Kristen has a putt here to maintain her share of third in that lead card position for tomorrow as well. Emelina's birdie putt, likely a layup. Yes, it was. Done well.
What?
Oh, come on. How's she going to do us like that, Val?
What?
Surprising, but hey, when you're having a day like that, you don't want to throw it away, huh?
Yeah, I was expecting her to lay up a lot more putts.
Yeah.
This one with what she's shown us on the putting green, I just assumed.
So Kristen has this for lead card tomorrow. Short work there. You will see her on that lead card, along with Paige Pierce, Hannah Wynn, and Silva Saarinen. And off the course, that is the only clean scorecard you'll see in the field from your leader, Silva Saarinen. What a round. Kristen's hoping to get this one back.
10 down. So clean, so consistent.
And welcome into the booth, Ian and Val. Talk about what you saw from Hannah and Silva today.
Yeah, we saw some amazing golf today. That was really fun and exciting to watch and really sets the tone for the rest of the week. And you can see some players can shoot lights out. For Silva to go bogey-free, 10 down. I mean, she had some outstanding putts today, and always those consistent drives. And Hannah shot the round of her life. Literally the best round of her life, the best rating she's ever gotten. I can't wait to see what she does for us tomorrow. Hopefully it's another good day for her because she has really started this tournament out on a high note. So it was really fun today. I had a good time.
I'm with you. It's going to be great. They got some heavy hitters on the card with them tomorrow. Paige Pierce, Kristen Latt.
Yeah, and I feel like those two, there were a lot of opportunities missed. So just knowing that, you can't ever count them out of a conversation. They're right there in the hunt, and I'm expecting to see them improve. We're going to play the same format tomorrow, so they got a chance to redeem themselves.
It's going to be good. We'll kick it off to one more commercial break. On the other side, we'll have the OTB After Show, OTB Shot of the Day. We'll see you there.
Hey everybody, Joel Freeman here with Team Infinite, and I've got great news for you. My 2025 discs can be found easily at infinitediscs.com. You've got a variety of different molds with this stamp on it. They look beautiful. Thank you guys so much for all your support.
EDGE is a nationally recognized 501c3 charitable organization.
What we do is we empower the teachers with complete programming along with the equipment and a standardized curriculum. So you have a one-stop shop for teachers and youth educators. That's really what EDGE is. It makes everything simple for the teacher to get involved with disc golf.
If we want disc golf to be recognized, we need to introduce disc golf to the youth. And if nothing else, they've got a healthy game that they can enjoy with their families throughout the rest of their lives.
My name's Holland Hanley.
My name is Albert Tim,
and
we use the Easy Cart.
I went with the Easy Cart because it lets me switch back and forth between using the bag and using the cart.
I like the simplicity of Easy Cart. On the longer courses, it takes off a lot of weight from my bag.
I also get the extra storage below.
And it works for the smallest and the biggest bags in the game.
I think the Easy Cart goes for whoever already has a nice big premium bag and they don't want to spend a ton of money also getting the most expensive cart.
Can I just say I agree?
Ditto.
I sort of proved to myself that I still got it. Whatever is meant to happen with me will happen. And what I want wants me even more, so I just have to be open to receive it.
There's a place where the game meets the extraordinary. Eagles Crossing Disc Golf, a realm of lush fairways and peaceful woods, where every hole offers a new chapter in your adventure. Explore this one-of-a-kind disc golf property that boasts not one, but two championship-level courses. Eagles Crossing is where your perfect round begins. Book your tee time online at eaglescrossingdiscgolf.com.
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB Disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
Welcome into Tournament Central. Taking a look at your Innova Hot Rounds, which doubles as our leaderboard on day one. Saarinen and Wynn. They kind of separated there, Val.
Yeah, they shot amazing. And we got some killers and tied for third.
Yes,
but
we do.
Right now, that's an amazing score to beat.
Our man Nate Perkins caught up with your leader, Silva Saarinen, in the clubhouse. Take it away, Perk.
Silva, 10 under par today. How'd that number feel to you?
Yeah, it feels good.
Can you talk to us about who you had on the bag today? We know that you're not typically one to have the caddy.
She's my sister.
Does it feel pretty comfortable to have her and be able to chat with her and finish?
Yeah, of course, it's nice. She's one of my best friends, so it's nice.
Well, I want to ask you about how your putter felt overall and the decision to lay up that final putt.
I just knew the scores, and I didn't need to run it, and it would be annoying to end up with bogey or something, so I laid up.
Silva, thank you for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow on that lead card.
See you. Thank you.
Let's check out some highlights from her round. She wanted to stay bogey-free, Val. You know? So it's hard to fault that decision there.
Success.
This putt on 3. Oh my gosh.
There were some serious highlight reels of her putts today.
Yeah.
Incredible from deep inside circle 2 at some points.
Her throw looks so effortless too, doesn't it?
Yeah, she has that little snap, that little whip, and to see her go with all these standstill shots, shots that are about 300 feet, where you would expect most players to have even just a little slow baby run up. She stands still and has so much power.
The putting though, oh my goodness.
One of the shorter makes of the day, but a little scary, almost popping out the side. This one right here.
What a par save. And she was exactly on her C2 putting percentage today, 33%. That's her season mark as well. Leading the tour in that stat. And the only scorecard with no red on it belongs to that woman, your leader. Just missed one putt inside the circle. Was that her layup on 18? Might have been.
Yeah, that was an unexpected layup.
Yeah. But 10:36, highest rated round of her career. That's for first and second place, with Wynn also shooting the best she's ever shot.
But Silva has put herself in this position a few times now, being on the big stage and being on the big stage for a major title, and we'll see if she can remain consistent. And it's a lot of pressure, and it takes a lot of experience and a lot of talking yourself through these tough situations to come out on top. And so it's amazing to see Silva continue to put herself in this spot, but can she maintain? Can she take this down for her first major title? It's starting off pretty good, I'd say.
It sure is. And also a great start. We mentioned Hannah Wynn just dealing today. Also kind of like Silva. They have pretty similar games, don't they?
Yeah, and I love seeing somebody that's shooting kind of out of their mind, out of the body, but at the same time, this is how Hannah has played. Like, this is her skill.
Yeah.
She knows she can do it, and today she put it all together. She threw the great drives, and even with the cameras on her, she was still able to perform. Going for that putt right there, for Hannah, for not seeing her that often, to see her make a putt like she did on 17, that was just a phenomenal show for me.
She shined bright under the 1 camera, so we'll see how she does with 3 on her tomorrow. I like her chances, though. She's been bubbling up over the last couple seasons. Really been solid. Just that 1 bogey back on 2. What a day for Hannah Wynn. Back to the booth for the final time. It is OTB shot of the day. Do you have a favorite?
I like that Hannah Wynn putt on 17. That was incredible. But then it was the putt on 16 from Silva. Those were great. I'm thinking they're going with Kat Mertsch. that throw in, that sidearm. That was the longest
It was.
of the throw-ins that we saw today.
The longest. We had that Badinsky chain out on 18 too, which was also pretty cool. A lot of great shots out there to pick from today.
Yeah.
No bad picks. Marky, fire off that OTB shot of the day. What do you got for us, buddy? What was the right choice? Yeah, you called it, Val. Saucy sidearm from Merge. Drains it. Just perfect. A forehand that finds the bottom always feels a little special, you know? Those are so tough when you're anywhere close. Well, I hope you enjoyed day one on the FPO side. Day one still coming for the gents. That starts at 3. Make sure you tune in for that. And for everybody on the ground, everybody in the booth, from Val and myself, thank you so much for watching the Champions Cup. We'll catch you in just a bit for the gents.